Hello! It's been a while since we've done this, so let's get the usual. Frozen apples with some meat. Go for a meat wagon. I like the meat wagon. Ah, look at those cats working. So Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or Happy Holidays if you want to be politically correct. But either way, I thought I would come out with an episode. I'll be doing solo commentary this time around, mainly because people aren't around. So let's take a look at the Eye of Prey gear. Pretty much the same gear set, just model-wise, just recolored red. And I'll be using the Hellstinger this time around. It's basically an ice element gun lance that has spread shelling. So that I want to show that off. That's the first gun lance that'll get it. I just quickly grabbed some whetstones because I just remembered them in the last second. Anyway, that's kind of how it looks. Nothing really special there. And this is again how the gun lance looks. Alright. Take a look at the stats here. It'll make us immune to poison. And it'll give us a little health boost, but altogether not too useful in my opinion. There's better armors in my opinion. And to start out the video, I know it's going to be a little bit boring. If you don't want to see it, skip ahead a bit, but I'm going to be showing off all the armors I've been getting a hold of, because there's not enough videos to really show them all off on, and not all of them are really that great. So this is the Gypsy set. It kind of looks goofy if you ask me. It looks like a warm winter's coat with like what's it called? Those hair nets that you wear when you're cooking. But it negates poison as well, and it gives a bit of thunder resistance. The Eye of Prey skill-wise would be better than that, but I think this gives more armor. Not sure. Didn't really pay attention. And here's the Kezu armor. I actually kind of like this one. Just, how it looks. But, no, the Kezu armor is a pain to get. Because, pale bones. That's all I'll say. Hate getting pale bones. I have the worst luck on them. But, I think the recovery speed does so, when you're knocked down or something like that, then you get up faster. Now, all around, kind of a decent armor. Not really bad. I mean, if you're going to get knocked around a bit, not terrible. And let's go for Plesioth armor. There are no belts for the Plesioth armor, so that's why I'm not wearing a belt. Really boring model, to be honest. It's just the skin, really. Except for the helmet, which is more or less a skin still. And doesn't really have that great stats. Yeah, it gives you a bit of stamina, less stamina reduction. And you can just slot some decorations in it, and you can fix it up a little bit with some heat or cold resistance. There are only 3 pieces, though, for the steel armor set. So, only wearing 3 pieces of it. And, gives you map, but that's not really that great. Combine it together with some pieces that give guard, it could be a pretty decent setup. If you're going with a shield, that is. And, oh yes, the lobster set. Took me a while to grind in all the small lobsters from Green Plesioth. But yeah, this is kind of how it looks. I quite like how it looks. It has its own little unique look. And hey, it's actually got pretty good stats when it comes to evading. Just put a few decorations to get rid of the guard if you're using a shield. And I think you can get like evade +2 or something like that on it. With I think that requires 20. Not sure, or maybe it already had it. I didn't pay attention. And here's the purple Gypsy set. pretty much just a reskin version of the regular Gypsy set, but it's more just for the stats I'm showing you too. Fate negated. That means I can't get the stars over my head and get stunned that way. So whenever it flashes me, no problem. And the wide effect is if I like to use a potion and I have friends around, they'll get the effect of the potion too, if they're close enough. And as you can guess, green plus the off gear. Oh, and the gun lance I have on my back is a poison element one. But I will be using it later. Basically, quickly what it does is, if I slot some decorations on it, it can give me some resistances to heat cold. But in general, it's the whole thing where I use less stamina. Blango equipment set here. Quickly showing it off. Not too fond of its looks, to be honest. But this one's actually quite nice. It can give me quake resistance, so minor quakes not gonna bother me. Low cold resistance and snow resistance too, so I think with that I don't even get snowballed. But, you know, put some decorations in and you're pretty much immune to all quake effects. And yeah, here comes a special one. Mosswine armor. This is a pain to get, by the way. Mosswine hides are very rare. But yeah, pig armor. I think they use some of the Gypsy set for the chest piece. What does it do, aside from crappy defense? Helps you cook, helps you eat faster, gives you more health, but you run out of stamina ridiculously fast. So you need to eat a ton. And let's see, what else do we have? A bistro set. There's only 3 pieces here. And that's how it looks. I think together with the Mosswine armor, you could probably get like the max cooking bonus, so you can easily make like gourmet food. But again, gluttony, basically what it does is you eat like a potion, and then you also get some stamina back. So that's actually pretty nice. And the butterfly armor. This is not too bad, actually. Kind of goofy looking. What am I talking about? It is goofy looking. Ah, there we go. Kind of butterfly-ish. But, you know, it's not half bad. It gives me evasion plus and special attack, but I could just wear that one headpiece to get that, the chaos shroom. But, you know, not a horrible piece if you're using, like, status effects and, you know, like the evasion boost. And, moving on, remember those boots that I bought at the store where it was like, hey, we're selling this to congratulate you getting through this star mission? Well, this is what they do and kind of what they look like. I bought all 3. The first 2 can be worn by males. The last, the pink one, can only be worn by females. So, hey, luckily, Boxy Brown is a woman, so she can wear the pink pair and I can show them off. You know, not too useful. Well, actually, the first one is probably the most useful one since it gives +5 gunnery. And here's the pink ones. Actually have a different model this time. And honestly, they're not that great, really. That's not very good. You'd be wearing them for the looks, really. But that is it for most of the gear sets that I have to show off. I'm going to be wearing the Gypsy armor this time around. There's a certain reason for it. And again, using the Hellsting has pretty good attack power, not as good as the Spec Ops gun lance. And it only has level 1 shelling, so not too great in the shelling, but it does have the spread type shot, so it does massive amounts of damage. But again, not too great on the shelling, and it has very low sharpness, as they call it. I'll be trying to be, you know, informative. Hopefully, people people will be busy with like Christmas. This is the reason why I am doing this solo. But the Basiros, this is the fight I'll be doing. For people familiar with the Monster Hunter series, they probably know why I'm picking a poison-resistant armor. And for that matter of fact, now that I pointed it out, people could probably guess. Also, something I did forget about while I was doing this, and because I'm doing like a solo post-commentary, I'm not going to be doing anything live. So there's no live video this time around. That, and I've been busy all day, and I can't really be bothered to do 2 videos, you know, for each video. Something I did notice, I spent quite a bit of time kind of waiting for the Basiros to show up. I forgot that was a completely different monster that just wanders around. So I spent a good deal of time, so there's quite a bit to jump cut there. Like an entire 5 minutes. I mean, just kind of standing there waiting for him, going like, where is he, where is he? But no, I remember the Basiros. This is what the Basiros does. He sleeps underground, or hides underground, if you will. See those gray rocks there in the end? That's the Basiros. He basically camouflages himself as a bunch of rocks. When you attack them, he jumps out of the ground. Every time he runs from you, he will dig himself under the ground. When you get him out of the ground like that, he has a chance of dropping a shiny, as you see right there. Also, the tail swipe there, don't be fooled by it. He does 4 swipes back and forth, where most monsters usually just do 2 swipes. And there's the poison cloud he does. With his armor, I don't even have to worry about poison. Handy. Of course, I do utterly abysmal here in the beginning. But as you can see with the spread shot, I have 2 bullets in the chamber. And once I start firing the gun lance off, pay attention that it does like an arc around me, or just graphically a huge explosion right in front of me. Again, the downside is having to have to reload all the time. And this fight is really good to have a gun lance with, because your weapon will bounce off of every part of his body. Unless you have fencing on your armor, you know, as a skill, then you're really going to want to either use a hammer where you can ignore the bounce, or you're gonna want to use gun lance, which just ignores armor and bouncing. Of course, if I used a Spec Ops gun lance, this fight would probably been a little easier because it has better shelling. Also, it has ice element, but it's not quite the element you want to use against Basiros. What you want to use against Basiros is dragon element or water element. And as he himself is fire element, and water, I'm pretty sure water does a little bit. Not water, ice. But water is what you want to use. If I wanted to be, you know, fancy, I'd use the Mariner gun lance, which has water element. But, you know, I just wanted to show this gun lance off, and the shelling type. Now, there are 2 breaks on this guy. There's his tail and his chest. I will not be doing the tail, mainly because I'm waiting to get an armor with fencing on, and trust me, I'll be fighting plenty of these later on. And the second break, again, as I said, is his chest, and as you can see, I already broke his chest. Now, what's significant about breaking his chest? Now I can actually damage him properly with stabs. And I believe it's like a 3 times damage modifier if you hit the exposed part of their body when you break the chest. So really, if you want to make the fight easier, you break the chest, and then you focus on attacking the chest. This can be dangerous because he will often do his Poison Cloud. In addition to his Poison Cloud, he can also do a Sleep Cloud. So he puts you to sleep, and then he smashes you for bonus damage. So, not that fun. But he never really uses his Poison Cloud this entire fight for some reason. The Basiris rarely uses poison. Not poison, sleep. He has some other attacks, which I will get to later. He basically charges back and forth. He will sometimes jump in the air, flutter about. But in reality, this boss is pretty much a chump. He's pathetic and easy. He's very slow, very weak, and doesn't have too many moves. And the powerful moves he does have, he rarely uses. So, again, you know, not too tough. I will foreshadow that this is just Junior. And by Junior, I mean this is just a baby. There are bigger ones, which are called a monster of their own. Which are, by the way, far more dangerous. But, you know, again, all around, pretty easy fight. If you're having problems with this monster, you might want to reconsider practicing on the game again. And there he goes, he digs under the ground when he escapes. And he dug to Area 4, so let's do a jump cut. Because Lord knows people want to see me walk all the way there. And notice that my Wyvern Fire just reloaded. I did not realize this, and I thought it was still cooling down. But there he is. Just waiting to be attacked, but, you know, he's not gonna move, so we might as well clear out the area. Pro tactics there. That is, if you can clear out the area. Sometimes you're stuck with Hornitaurs and Vespoids. But, you know, it's good to be back. It's really good to be back. I'm doing Let's Plays, my sleep schedule's stabilized, and and here I'm thinking, yeah, it's still cooling down. Can't use Wyvern Fire, but I could have. I wanted to capture the Basiris, I'll spoil it, I accidentally killed it. But it can be tricky to see if certain monster types are weak or not, mainly because, especially with the Basiris, he doesn't wander around, so you don't see if he limps or not. So, unless you have, I think it's like Trank Master or something like that, I believe. It's really, you're just guessing. As you can see, he does a Fireball Spit as a attack, and soon he'll be doing, there we go. The famous, iconic Heat Ray. You cannot block it. And is the single most damaging attack he can do, as far as I understand. Again, if you want to fight this guy, I suggest bringing a hammer and only using charge attacks, or bringing a greatsword and using charge attacks, or bringing a gun lance and just gunning the hell out of him. It's your best chance. Mainly I'm just focusing on gunning because, why not? Showing off the spread gun lance. And, you know, 2 shots isn't that bad considering, you know, then it forces you to, well, you're unable to get too greedy, whereas if you have 5 shots, you go like, oh, I can just get 4 shots in. No, you can't. And again, I'm just a terrible hunter. Main downside is still you need to sharpen this bad boy pretty often. Spread shots take tons of sharpness out of your weapon compared to others. I was a little tempted to be very fancy in like Shadow Box to get him out of the ground, but I reconsidered and decided to just do it properly. Again, once I get fencing, I will bring a great sword or a long sword with me and chop off the tail. So I'll show that off eventually. Interesting fact though, the Becerus, if you chop his tail off, he will have the shortest, stubbiest tail in the entire game. It actually does make a big difference. But the main difference, what you mainly want to destroy first, again, is the chest. Otherwise, the fight's going to take forever unless you have fencing. And he died. Not too proud of this. I did want to capture him. But I also kind of want to get these videos out and get them uploaded at Christmas, so everybody's doing their Christmas holiday goodness, and I will lead them to that. So again, sorry if the commentary is kind of me rambling on and me going I am terrible at commentary, I know it. But that was the Becerus. Pretty easy fight, huh? Next up, I got two special videos. I quite like it, but you know, it's been a while, so cat abuse. Oh, that feels good. I will I'll see you in the next video. Well, I guess we should check the loot first, though. So, got some shells, some ores, basic stuff, nothing too great. Well, I'll see you in the next video.